I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first Jurassic film not set at least partially on one of the two islands in Costa Rica. I mean, did you kind of clock that early on, and was there ever consideration of dropping in there at some point, or did it just not really fit?
It wasn't the story we were telling. We obviously, the Nublar went through a serious tragedy, and it felt like the natural trajectory of this was to change. Fundamentally change what the franchise is in certain ways, because every movie has just been on an island that may or may not be safe when people go to it. And I think we've just gotten into this pattern of assuming that that's what a Jurassic movie is. But to me, it felt like, especially, if there are future stories to be told, to give a little bit more room for people to be creative and to create a really natural, believable dynamic between dinosaurs and humans on the planet, instead of something that feels sci-fi or, dinosaurs in the city eating you out of the Starbucks, like whatever that is. I just wanted to make it feel like, what if this actually happened?
Mm. I mean, I guess it also, puts up against that thing where people always say, why would you keep going back to these dinosaur-infested islands? They don't.
I was eager to not have to answer that question again, because it's a really good question. Why? Why would you go?
You mentioned there future stories, future things. Obviously, this is the close of a trilogy. Do you see there being more films, and would you like to be involved if there were?
It's really up to the audience. If the audience responds in a way to this that makes us feel like they want to know more about this world that we've created, more about the new characters we've created, Kayla Watts, Ramsey Cole, I did want to create that possibility that there's characters who we could walk forward with, but I also wanted to tell the end of this story we've been telling and of the larger story that Steven started telling a long time ago.
You felt like that was something this story had to say, and a place for Ellie Sattler's story to go. Do you think her story ends here with this film, or could you see yourself returning again?
Well, I'm not supposed to tell, I guess, where her story ends, but I love that her story ends with the beginning of her activism and her determination to make a difference on a global scale. So she'll keep going. Ellie Sattler's in the world to do great things, and so I'm very proud to play her. And this is a culmination of two stories coming together, and there also is the introduction to several amazing characters, but particularly with Dewanda and Mamadou joining us, some really delicious and fun characters to follow. But I've learned to never say never.
Obviously, you've just got this film coming out, and like you say, it depends on how people react to it and things. If this sort of story did continue, where do you think it could go next? It feels like so much kind of ground has been covered story-wise in the Jurassic movies, especially in this trilogy. What's the kind of next step, do you think?
I think that it's up to the next filmmaker to tell me what that is, or tell Steven what that is. I think that's what I did, and I think for someone to have a really clear vision of where this can go, that's in many cases what makes them the one to take on the huge responsibility, but also just like the incredible joy of making these movies. I know he or she is out there, and I can't wait to meet him.